Welcome to an episode of You Haven't Read What? I'm Krista.
And I'm Christina. Join us to explore unique genres, childhood favorites, and literary classics as we dive into each other's favorite reads.
Where one of us is very familiar with the book, the other is reading for the very first time. Let's go!
How was your week?
It's been a week. It's Halloween.
I know.
We got to bundle up the kids because it was cold.
Yep, it snowed the day before.
Yeah, trick-or-treating in snow.
Yep, I mean, it's a Colorado thing. It's usually pretty normal. Though you told me that last year, which I was not here for, it did not snow for Halloween.
But it was significantly colder.
Yeah.
Last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my daughter stole my jacket. So I was cold walking home, and she was just fine.
Right, I'm sure. I would have just been like, dude, just go run. Like, you would have been fine.
Run up the hill with your bag of candy.
Ooh,
That'll teach you twice about how much you bring home with you.
Right. But we did get to trick-or-treat together, which was fun.
That was fun.
We meant to actually come back to our neighborhood, and then we just ended up not. So
I don't think you could have dragged her away.
Oh, for sure. No. She would have been very upset.
Yes. And our kids got a little surprise. Grandma and Grandpa flew in.
Woo, woo.
So they got to play, and they're sitting with us now. My dad just did a little dance. That was cute. And so we've had a fun weekend playing with the grandparents and getting a break because the grandparents are here.
Right?
That's just how it goes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm ready for more snow. We're going to get a lot more snow this week.
Oh, I've heard. So, the snow that we just got last night into this morning is already basically gone.
Yes.
Why? Why even snow at that point?
Because it's still pretty for the first hour.
When
debatable. I'm trying to drive to work.
When I'm trying to scrape it off the car, full of ice. I had to make sure that Water knew that she wasn't allowed to make snowballs at school because I was like, no matter what, if any other student does it, I do not care. You are not allowed because it's sticky. It will pick up the rocks in the schoolyard.
You're going to schwack somebody.
And you'll hurt somebody with the ice. So we remind her every time it's snowed so far, you are not allowed to make snowballs. Yeah.
I like that.
And all I get back from Water is,
I know, Mom. Mm-hmm. Yep, that tracks. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's probably a school rule. Because I remember that was a school rule when I was a kid.
Oh.
And the, small handful of snow days we got. That, you didn't make snowballs and throw them because you're going to get a rock in somebody's eye.
Yeah.
That's just going to happen.
I'm just more worried about the ice cutting somebody or something like that. So
yeah, all around.
Yeah.
Snowballs are fun. Snowballs are fun when there's big fluffy snow and all that, and you're not at recess with a bunch of elementary school age kids.
Wait until you're off the school grounds, and then you can pummel somebody. Cool, go for it. You just have to be off school grounds first. Just kidding.
The rules change.
Right, exactly.
At least then in the backyard, you're on grass.
True.
The chance of you picking up a rock,
or a little slimmer.
None.
Well, at that point, you've got dog poop, deer poop, rabbit poop. I mean, you got all the poop. So I don't know if that's better or worse.
Jury's out.
True.
I'll let you decide.
Well, shall we get to it? I'm
shall.
excited for these chapters.
So last week we talked chapters 13 and 14, which were Nicholas Flamel and Norbert, the Norwegian Ridgeback. Still not a cow.
Definitely not a cow.
That kills me. And so Haggard got a dragon, Haggard lost a dragon, and we all move on with life. And everyone gets detention. Which leads us to chapters 15 and 16, the Forbidden Forest, and through the trapdoor.
I still have a problem with the time in this chapter.
Oh, no. We'll get to it.
I know. But still, why? I do not understand the time. It's totally non-existent, and I do not understand.
Okay, we'll get to it.
Okay, cool. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, here. So, chapter 15. I said busted. Down 50 points each. They all get forced detention. Centaurs, unicorns, you-know-who, oh my. And then chapter 16 is all the exams. Oh, Hagrid. I said, into the unknown. That's all I could think of.
Frozen.
Jumping through the dark unknown. Mm-hmm. So, we'll start at 15.
Okay.
Is that where your issues with time start?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Detention. Like, it literally, so they get detention.
They get told they get detention.
Well, they get told they get detention. But when does detention actually happen? It sounds like several weeks later. Mm-hmm. But why wait so long for detention? A. And B, the points for Malfoy, what did he get lost besides detention? Did he also get 50 points off?
I think they all lost 50, him included. Because they said 150, so Neville. Whoa. Neville also. So I think 200 total points were lost, 50 being Slytherin.
Yeah, but it doesn't actually explicitly say that.
She does say each.
Yeah, but Malfoy's not there when she's talking to the other three about the 50 points each. So we don't actually find out what Malfoy gets for his detention or his points.
It's Harry's monologue.
Whatever. But still.
I think he lost 50 points too. It's fine.
Sure. We'll just put that in there. Malfoy loses 50 points. They all get detention. And supposedly there are several weeks between when they get told they have detention. They actually have to do their detention. But yet, why so long? Like, I don't get it. They don't do that in school here. You get detention, you go the next day. Or even the same day, depending on what time it was.
It's also a little more structured. You don't go into the forest hunting for endangered unicorns either.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's a little more structured. So I think you got to wait till you find a teacher that volunteers to take 4 delinquents, like for multiple hours.
Right.
Also, it helps the story along.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, detention could have been anything though. It didn't have to go with Hagrid.
We get more detention later. It's a smorgasbord. Don't worry.
Everybody gets detention.
Everyone gets detention.
Maybe we should have one of those little countdowns too.
Another tracker.
Yeah, like we got to figure out how we can get this tracker onto our socials, so that way we can be like, okay, who's gone to the hospital and who's gotten detention.
So far, Ron is clear of one, thanks to the other.
Right? Yeah. I mean, Ron didn't end up going, so.
Yeah, he was stuck in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because he got bit.
Poor Ron.
Despite having the brother who works with dragons, he's the one who got bit by the dragon.
Right. I mean, you can't always be perfect when it comes to magical creatures that should never actually exist.
So how many times have they been threatened to pack their bags? Whereas Harry thought, I should be packing my bags now.
Maybe we should also have that as a tracker.
You're just going to have numbers for
We're going to have lots of trackers. Quite a few. Yeah. I would say more than 7.
Because it just keeps going. He was like, I might as well pack my bags now. And I'm like, dude, is this what you go to?
Well, I mean, you have to think that as a non-psychologist person. I mean, you did admit last episode you weren't a psychologist, or 2 episodes ago.
No.
But I think when you deal with the Dursleys the way he did for so long, it's kind of like when you I will never be okay with this, but people that kick animals, they don't want to go back to that person because they feel like they're going to get kicked again. So they have that mechanism that goes, okay, should I walk up to this person or should I not? And that kind of thing. So I think that's just his straight, like,
he jumped straight to.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to get schwacked again, so I might as well prepare for it. And,
right. Exactly.
Pack my bags without my cloak.
I mean, never mind. I'll get there. But like, yes. The forest, while I think it's cool, I don't understand the whole presence about the forest. So, like
the mystery about it?
Yeah, or the
forbidden forest.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's just where all the magical creatures that aren't under anybody's control live. So that's why it's kind of like deep and mysterious.
So why aren't there dragons in there? They're not technically under. Oh, look at you go!
I mean, we have unicorns and centaurs and Voldemorts and everything else in there. Why not?
The plural. More than one.
Oh gosh, that's terrifying.
That would be terrifying.
Yeesh.
But like, so we obviously figure out it's got to be Voldemort that's in there, like, or at least I think it is.
I mean, friends would agree with you.
Yes, but
he doesn't explicitly say it. I'm going to back up just a little bit
Okay.
before they go into the forest. Hagrid's whole rundown of like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna split up. You're gonna do green sparks. You're gonna do red sparks. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's go. And I was like, you've done this before. This is not your first rodeo.
Oh, for sure.
Taking kids into the forest to do something potentially dangerous
that they're not supposed to.
I was like, you are well lectured, sir.
Right.
you have this down.
And the fact that he like basically snaps back at Filch is brilliant.
I was like, ooh, we found somebody that Hagrid is, I don't know, above? Is that, he feels he can clap back at?
Yeah, boss around a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not your job.
Go away. Also, he has his crossbow, but not his pink umbrella.
Oh. Yeah, that wasn't mentioned. But, I mean, it could still be in the quiver. Well, yeah, I suppose. Or it could be in one of the 1,000 pockets that he has in his jacket. So
that is fair. He does have a lot of pockets. I'm jealous.
I know, right? A jacket with so many pockets.
We don't get pockets. And then was looking to see if there's any correlation, and I eventually found it. But right before they go into the forest, Harry turns and starts talking about memorizing Jupiter's moons.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to look it up. And I was like, oh, there's 95 moons, classified moons around Jupiter now. And I was like, well, that's not any important number. And I was like, wait a minute. When were all these discovered? In 1997, there were only 17 classified moons. And we have another 7.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Huh.
We've discovered that many moons around Jupiter since this book was published.
That's a lot.
It's like, that's a lot of moons.
Yeah. I mean, we're 3 years short of 30 at that point.
We're not that old.
Am I counting right?
Oh,
7,
you mean
17. Yeah, we're 3 years from being 30 years of, I don't know, 95, take away 17. So, I mean, that is a lot of moons. And it's interesting that Harry had to, well, okay, again, magic. Why do they have to study the moons?
Because that all means something. It's kind of part of the whole, they do fortune telling, and because they talk about it they kind of just gloss over it in this book of like, yeah, it's a thing. It's Hermione said that McGonagall says it's kind of like hodgepodgey of like, it's not real magic, but obviously the centaurs use the planets then. That's a good lead in of the centaurs. Believe Mars is awfully bright tonight. And like they clearly believe the planets are telling them something. And so there are magicians, wizards that believe the planets are telling them something. So
what number is Jupiter in the planet line?
Mercury, Venus,
I don't
Earth,
remember.
Mars, Jupiter 5th.
Oh, it's 5th. Okay, I was like,
7.
Oh, I found another.
I was gonna be mad if you found a 7. I didn't.
No, you've been doing really good.
No,
though I did notice in this chapter they have the green that comes up, they have a purple that comes up, and they have black that comes up within the next 2 chapters. So I thought that was cool. I caught that.
It keeps coming.
Yeah,
green and velvet. So yeah, and then friends. So we meet some centaurs that are fun.
Yes.
I think my dad just stifled his sneeze, so we didn't hear it in the background. That was funny. I just see him over there, just like, I'm like,
he turned like a tomato.
You did turn bright red.
Yep.
I'm also trying to like clear my throat here. It's super dry.
Yeah,
I'm dying. It's so dry.
It's very dry.
All right. So centaurs are a little bit interesting.
Yep.
Question mark.
Well, okay. So how do you pronounce the one's name?
Which one? Friends.
Is it friends?
So kind of like you're saying friends, but friends.
Friends. Okay.
The emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Okay. And then there's Bane and Ronan. And Bane and Ronan, all they talk about is Mars, basically the entire time. And then they yell at friends.
For having a human on his back.
Right.
How dare you stoop to that level.
Are you just a normal mule?
Yeah. I love everything that they call him. Like a mule. Come on.
Right?
You can talk. You're half man.
Right? He's not a donkey. Come on. Like, come on. But I just find him interesting because he doesn't explicitly tell Harry anything. He doesn't like come out and just say, this is what's going to happen. This is what we've read on the stars and in the space or whatever it is.
They're very secretive.
Right. But he basically still gives Harry all of the information that he needs by just kind of asking him questions, which I thought was really cool.
But you notice he finally starts telling him when Harry stops asking.
True.
Because Harry only asked once.
Yep.
And then just lets it go. And Harry's like, right, he's not going to answer me.
Yep.
Whatever, move on. Just ride in silence.
Yep.
And then he's like, okay, you're not a normal
person
trying to seek information that you can for your own gain. Like,
right.
You're just curious. Okay. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Like that was, I don't know, that was almost like a weird centaur trust building exercise.
Yeah, maybe he did end up trusting Harry, but it's also Harry Potter. So like
the Potter boy.
Right, exactly. And like, so I think giving him that information is obviously going to help Harry. And plus he goes, it's not safe for you. Like we need to get you out of here right now.
That's like he knows what's going on.
Yep.
He knows more than they, and he's letting on.
Oh,
I mean, they all do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but
him
they
being
think
like,
it's part of the stars, like whatever is about to happen. Though I find it very interesting that Harry is like, I am not going to turn evil, but yet I still keep having the hypothesis that he will. I don't know. There's going to be a battle of it, but like he's very much just not going to turn evil. Whatever's written in the stars is going to not
whatever's
happen.
going to happen, or Yep.
And I think that's kind of fun for Harry because then he gets to make his own choice and be who he needs to be or wants to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And this part with the unicorn dead.
Dude.
Is definitely a place I glossed over with reading it with my daughter.
Yep.
So I got to this part. I had honestly kind of forgotten about all the detail in the book in this part. And I was like, uh-oh.
I'm sure Thing One
Please don't have nightmares tonight because we read this chapter. Like, so I did a little bit of glossing over with her.
Yeah.
But like, and then in the movie, she handled it okay. Like she was like, oh, that's really sad. That sucks. All right, move on. Like it's a movie. Like she can disjointed enough.
Right.
But as soon as I got to this, again, rereading it again this time, I'm like, ugh. I guess.
Yeah, it was a lot more gruesome than I would have thought for an 11-year-old book, like 11-year-old person's
aged book.
Yeah, aged book. It was a lot more gruesome in that sense of that
detailed
portion. Yes, but
a hooded cloak, quote, drinking silver unicorn blood. I was like, whoa, that's a visual we all need. Yikes!
Right?
Like, okay, move on.
I mean,
let's get back to Fluffy.
Oh, for sure. And the 3-headed dog, like. I mean,
that you put to sleep. You don't even have to hurt. You just put the dog to sleep.
Right?
I like it.
Well, that's in the next chapter. But like the unicorn, I just found it interesting because like they talk about the unicorn hair inside of the wands. And then Harry talks about they only really use the horns and the tail.
Something else. Yeah.
Something like that. How do they get that stuff from the unicorn?
I had the same thought.
When it's so hard to catch and they are what they're described as defenseless animals that when you do something to them, you are cursed.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you kill it.
Right. So how are you getting the horns, like, obviously you can get fur, like, whatever. But, like...
could have been shaving a unicorn.
Right. But, like, how do you get the
alpaca.
rest of the parts of the unicorn for all of these other potions and magical thingies without killing one or, like, hunting like you would here? And, yet... you can't kill one or you get cursed. So
yeah, I had the same thought that I was like, I wonder if there are, I'm gonna say like, I don't know, farmers, for lack of a better term, like trusted wizards who can go out and like interact with unicorns. They've built up a relationship, and like can I, shave
Sir,
part of your horn?
May I take
I'm
your horn?
not hurting you. Like, it will grow back. Yeah. It will,
like an alpaca.
Exactly. like an alpaca.
Sheep.
May I steal your wool?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, if like, I don't know, like maybe some unicorns have built up a relationship with very specific wizards of like,
right.
Yeah, for the purposes of your magical abilities and what you need to survive and keep the world safe,
right?
Hypothetically, and keep who from killing me.
Right.
Here, take it. Versus having to go around and hunt them for everything.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
Again, they
have to die of natural causes at some point.
True. So maybe that's what
look for those,
or maybe
they go and walk up to somebody's door and say, "Here I am."
Right. And then again, we are probably thinking way beyond anybody
100%.
that the book would have ever been like, oh yeah, I would have never thought about that. Like, why do I care?
The author's going, move on.
Right, exactly.
I didn't think it through, move on.
Kind of like the Quidditch in the next several books you said, like, okay, I did not think that through.
I did not think writing this through. I hate writing this, so let's write Quidditch out of the next several books.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's interesting that Friends helps Harry get out of the forest or back to Hagrid. Hagrid has to go and figure out the unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Hagrid, it doesn't talk about what he does with the unicorn, and we also never find out where Fang and Malfoy go, but sure enough, Malfoy is back at
school
the next day.
Little weenie ran away.
I mean, he was scared. He screamed, remember?
And ran.
Yeah.
Along with the big dog.
Well, Hagrid did Yep. Howard did say he was a coward. So, I mean, you can't fault the poor dog.
The dog.
Yeah.
I would assume because, as we will continually see throughout this, but the way Hagrid obviously loves Fang, treats the dragon, like, I am going to assume Hagrid took care of the unicorns very respectfully. That's for sure. That's my head canon.
Or maybe he called the trusted unicorn farmer person, and they came in
for you
and did what you would do with your organs here. Like if you wanted to donate them or whatever, then you could. Maybe that's what he did.
Go. Yeah,
we'll just go with that.
We'll go with that.
Yep.
The unicorns were treated well.
Yep.
In death. Yeah, and I like that monstrous thing to slay a unicorn because it's something so pure and so defenseless. And I'm also going like
to catch,
kind of like all these kids in school that are now in the Forbidden Forest and shouldn't be.
Right.
But like, yeah, it's like, oh, you have something so pure and so wonderful. It's like, how dare you? And I'm the same way with people who, abuse cats and dogs.
Right.
How dare you?
Right. But as a kid, you probably read that and was like, oh yeah, I totally go into the Forbidden Forest and do all of these things. And now as an adult, you're like, why the heck would you let your friend or your kid do this? Like,
what are we doing at the school?
Exactly. It's that like difference from you read it as a kid and you go, oh yeah, let's do this. Like, let me have the quiver and the bow and arrow and all that.
I'll take Fang. Come on.
Exactly.
I don't care.
To how dare you? Like,
which then feeds beautifully back into who in their right mind as an adult at the school gave Harry the cloak back.
True. I think it's Dumbledore. That did it. Because, I mean, he would have been probably the only one that would have known that it might have been up there.
He's also the only one who's seen it.
True. Yep, because he saw it with the mirror.
The mirror.
But, like, I think he's magical enough to know, hey, there's some weird shape thingy over here that looks weird, so let's go grab it and take it. Because Professor McGonagall has to tell him, probably more than likely, hey.
I got 4 kids in detention.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I did ask.
Or Phil Twitten bragged.
Yeah, true. And I did ask, I believe, last episode about how do they get the cloak back? And sure enough, it's just laying on his bed.
It just shows up.
And again, like, you have to see some sort of weird void with the cloak, or Harry wouldn't have noticed the cloak being on the bed, right?
Yes.
Like, it's got to look semi 3D weird voidish on the edges.
Or it's magical enough that it knows when it's not covering
a person. Maybe it looks like a blanket. Like
that looks like a normal cloak.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Or this is another the author. Keep going.
Right.
Don't overthink it.
Why do these people keep talking about these things?
So many years later.
Yeah, we're adults and we find weird missing pieces interesting. I don't know. But yes, I think it's awesome he got his cloak back. It's great for Harry because he has to use it again. But poor Neville. Why?
Neville just takes a beating in these 2 chapters.
Well, he takes a beating throughout this whole book. If you really think about it, fair. Neville has gone to the hospital multiple times. He has
3 times
completely body bounded multiple times, once.
One was legs, and then
and then now, like Neville will just stay behind the chair, find Trevor, and just
go to bed.
Go to bed. Leave it the way they told you to do
Ron, like you told me to stand up to people, not to us.
Right?
What'd you expect? He's not going to stand up to Malfoy.
Well, he did. Remember? He tried to punch him.
Only after Ron had him on the floor, but
but it's one of those Neville, you keep getting into these situations. You should just know by now that Hermione, Ron, and Harry are going to get you into more trouble. Come on.
They're the main characters. Leave them alone.
Yeah. Neville is like that sidekick that just kind of hangs out. And
he wants to be cool.
He's not quite there.
He's not there yet.
I'm wondering what he's going to look like in the movie, though, because all I can think is this geeky kid that just is ooh, I'm with the popular kids, and yet
But does he want to be?
Sometimes I think yes, sometimes I think no, because, again, he keeps getting into trouble with these guys. Ends up face
planting on the floor.
And poor Trevor keeps bouncing away.
Just let the frog go.
I know, right?
Just to put it by the lake, let it go.
You need an owl or something, dude.
Anything.
Or a pink umbrella.
Although... now that we know out by the lake there's apparently a giant
octopus
squid.
Oh, is it a squid?
It's a squid that likes being tickled.
Yes.
I was there are questions.
Do they actually like being tickled, or are the twins just tickling it for shits and giggles at that point?
I don't know. I just like that the trio is just sitting there watching Fred, George, and one of their friends.
Yeah.
Just tickle the squid for fun.
Yeah.
What is happening here?
I mean, could you imagine just sitting on
a beach
and you're just sitting there hanging out, and over there is some weird squid with 3 people tickling it, and probably over in this corner some mermaids and some dolphins doing races or something, and then over there's the Forbidden Forest with the centaur standing there and
judging you.
Yeah, exactly. Or
looking up at the stars. Yeah.
Counting Mars. It's so bright today. It's so bright. I mean, come on. But yeah,
it's a fun it's a good way to finish off exams.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if I could have taken those exams.
Nope. Also, anti-cheating quill. I have lots of questions there too.
So I actually made a note of this. It's totally not on this page because I haven't read anything in my notes. But the cheating thing, I was going to tell you, I was watching this teacher the other day on Instagram, and she has a tool. It's a website tool thing.
Yeah.
For ChatGPT and some of those other AIs that it can actually find out if a kid, you put in their paper, and it can tell you how fast they wrote it, where they backed up and rewrote things. If they just basically put it into an AI program and it wrote it for you, like it can figure all that stuff out. So I was kind of like, okay, so 1997, 2024, they're like,
we've come a long ways.
Kind of like telling the future in some ways about how like anti-cheating can work.
Well, even when I was in college, my first English class, we had to submit all of our papers through a website, and the website then sent a report to the teacher how many like exact sentences or paragraphs, if you were really lazy, could be found verbatim anywhere on the internet in a textbook, and then she would look to see then like, oh, you used these 2 sentences, was it referenced?
Right.
And no, then like, oh, you have this whole paragraph and you have no references. You copied and pasted this from somewhere.
Yep.
And so we had to submit everything through that.
That's
that's
cool.
Kind of cool. Because I wasn't trying to cheat. I was like, that's cool. Like,
right.
Better get my citations correct. But
right.
She's actually looking.
Right.
But yeah, no, there's been like variants of that. That's interesting because I've always wondered how now with like all the AI stuff makes that so much more complicated.
Oh yeah. Wait until Water and Thing 1 get into school and like they're having to write those papers. No. You know they're gonna, I mean, you know my child, my Slytherin is going to do this. She is going to do
She's
something.
She's going to find every loophole she can.
Oh, for sure. For sure. She totally is. But yours will not.
Mine will do what she's told.
Yep. And she'll stay up really late to make sure that her paper is perfect.
Because she started it too late.
Yep. Yep. Mine will just be like, okay, how fast can I make this work? Like, come on.
How do I make the system work for me? Let's go.
Exactly. So I'm going to have to learn now all of the cheating tools and rules so that I can make sure she's, you know, not using any of those. If she can find the loophole and figure out something outside of all of those things, I will let her like take like she can have an A+ in my book at that point. Like
she's put in more effort.
Exactly.
That's usually it takes more time to cheat than it does to just do the assignment.
Totally.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah. But the quill is really cool, and sometimes I wish I had learned how to write with a quill, just because I think it would be fun to like.
Has big floofy feather.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, do you think they have like ones that are just like different, like feathers, and some with like really long unicorn tail hair and like dragon feathers?
Yeah.
Do dragons have feathers or scales?
I don't know. Probably scales.
Or both?
Probably scales.
Maybe. But yeah, like you could have a quill with a scale on it. Like how cool would those be?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of fun things. There's other animals I can think of that we will get to. And I'm like, ooh, that would be fun.
Yeah. I think it would be cool to find out like what kinds of quills that they get to use. And they obviously got new ones.
Mm-hmm.
They
didn't get theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get a few quills throughout the book. I enjoyed Ron couldn't get too worked up because it was too hot. I'm like, I feel that.
Right?
I felt that in my soul. Like, when we moved from the Midwest so many days that I'm like, I don't even care. It's too hot.
Yep.
Just get away with murder. Don't care. It's too hot for me to get worked up and care.
Yep. I'm not going outside. I mean, we lived in Tennessee. It was hot all the time. All the bugs and everything like that. I refuse to go outside most of the time because there are too many bees and wasps and all kinds of other things that want to eat me. So I'm done.
Well,
out.
Tim joked that when we were got pregnant, it was like, good, we have a late winter kid, because otherwise you already are a hermit in the summer, and if you are a pregnant hermit in the summer, you would just never leave the basement. Like, sure. You're not wrong.
Right.
Because it's so miserably muggy outside.
Yeah.
And the fact that Ron's like, I couldn't even care enough to get involved in this conversation with my best friend because it's hot. I was like,
yeah, totally get that.
And then they get guilted by teachers for going inside.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's hot outside.
I don't want to go out there.
I don't want to be out there.
Right?
I want to go sit in a stone fireplace and cool off.
Well, they don't get guilted. They get told. You must go outside.
Yeah.
I mean, they had legitimate reasons for being inside. Or at least what Harry thinks is a legitimate reason to be inside.
Fairly.
Which is Snape. We must follow Snape. Figure out where he's going.
Dun, dun, dun.
Why did he corner Quirrell and steal the information from him? How are we going to get past the three-headed doggy Fluffy?
Oh, Hagrid.
I know. But when Harry actually figures it out.
Oh, brilliant.
And it like just dawns on him, because I was like, okay, if I were thinking of it and I'm trying to figure out like before Harry figures out what it was, and I just was like, I knew it had to link up to Hagrid, but I didn't realize the egg.
The dragon would be part of it.
Right. That's where I was trying to figure out where.
Yeah, Harry makes that one. That's a good leap.
Yeah.
I'm like, well done.
Well, and Hagrid likes to get drunk. Like, we obviously know this.
He's huge.
Right. How many
kegs does it take to get a wizard drunk?
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Pop? I mean, how many kegs does it take to get Hagrid drunk? Like
that can't be cheap. No. This was an expensive endeavor by this individual to figure out how to get past Fluffy.
But we still don't know who the individual is.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know.
You didn't read ahead, did you?
No.
Yes.
I didn't even change the page. It literally had 2 sentences on my Kindle. 2 sentences. And then the whole rest of the page was blank. And I was like, I even skipped back pages so that I didn't accidentally go to the next one. Because you were like, you're not even allowed to read the sentence or the title.
Don't look.
I didn't do it. I want to. Because I want to know. But you
can read it after this. It's fine. Stay up all night finishing the book.
I probably will end up doing that because I really want to know who is behind it. Because from what we read, it's not Snape and it's not Voldemort. So it's not either of them, because Harry says that at the end, the very end of the chapter. The end of the 16th chapter. Sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit. But
we've been in 16 for a while now.
Okay, good. Because like I said, I haven't gone through any of my notes, but whatever. Like, we're doing good. But
mass chaos.
Right? But okay, can we scoot back with the enchantments? We need to back up a lot. The enchantments. Like, each enchantment goes with the professor, which is kind of cool. But why a plant that strangles you? Why chessboard pieces? Like, I didn't understand that one. Like, obviously, the herbologist is the one with the plant and stuff like that. But, like, why the interesting enchantments? Like, each one has a specific enchantment. Obviously, Snape knows, or who they think is the person is Snape, knows
the potion stuff, knows how to play chess, knows how to fly, knows how to.
And we knew Snape did one of the things, which is great. But like, so we've got a plant that's trying to kill them and strangle them.
Well, first you got a dog trying to eat you.
Right, music.
Then you have a plant trying to also strangle you.
Yep. And then
flying keys.
Yep. Which, are they actually birds or are the wings keys?
They're winged keys.
Okay.
So they're little silver keys. I didn't quite get that.
Okay. Oh, that makes way more sense in my brain now. Because the way I was picturing it was like actual birds. Keys. But one of either like the leg or the wing or something was the key.
Oh, that's creepy.
So I was just kind of like, how do they look? Like, I didn't understand.
They're winged keys.
Okay, makes way more sense now.
Less diabolical than malformed birds.
I mean, so far in all of our episodes, I've come up with something creepy and crazy. So
I mean, the magical cow was amazing, but
yes.
I'm just gonna keep going.
But then we've got bird keys. We've got Ron. Yep, but Ron sacrifices himself. Ron. Yep, in the chessboards. Which, why the creepy no face? Like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they look like regular chess pieces because chess pieces don't have faces.
Oh,
they're just kind of
the ones I've always played with did.
No, I mean the horsies do, but
okay.
Weird. Okay, anyway.
Maybe I've always played with weird chessboards. I don't know. But, okay, no faces. Ron's out. But is he hit? He gets hit over the head by a stone arm. So how hurt is he? Is he going to the hospital? Mm-hmm. Do we get that information? Mm-hmm. He goes to the hospital. Okay, cool.
He'll get another check mark next book or next chapter.
Next chapter. Okay, perfect.
A lot the next book too, but specifically next chapter.
Right. And then I was like, at least Snape helped with the troll because that's obviously Quirrell's enchantment is the troll, but it's not Snape now that we know that. But the troll is out completely.
Troll's done.
Which is nice. And I love logic puzzles.
Did you read through it and solve it?
I did, but I was pretty confused. I would have had to take more time. I was at swim lessons while I was reading that portion, so I wasn't going to be able to take the time to actually do the puzzle. But I think I'm going to end up, I'm going to write that one down and, see if I can figure that one out.
Yeah.
But the way that she gets it is, and she takes the time, she does it. Mm-hmm. Great. Awesome.
Oh, and she's smiling.
Right.
I love that he looks over and she's smiling. Mm-hmm. It's like, I got this.
Yeah. And he sort of believes her.
Yeah. He's like, okay, please don't kill me.
But it's Hermione. She's always right.
She's got it.
Right. And not only that, but she's also done all of the different magical steps throughout all of the other enchantments so far. So, come on, dude. Just trust her.
Just trust her. Yeah.
Come on.
Let her do it. Let her have fun.
And I love that Hermione figures out the logic puzzle. But
and I said, goodbye, Hermione.
I know. Now it's just Harry by himself.
All alone.
Why? Why is he all by himself come on.
With somebody.
He walks through the black fire. And did it send Hermione back twice with the purple?
It sent her back to Ron.
Okay.
Well,
so just
technically
once.
back to the troll.
Right.
So that she can get to Ron.
Okay.
And then get out.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. That makes more sense. But, yeah, I don't know who's in the freaking gape. I want to know. I just want to know.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, I know. You're loving this. But,
So, I'm deciding if I'm going to save this for the next chapter or not. Nah, why not? This is fun. So, obviously then, we've now gone through our 7 challenges. Well, the 7th being whatever the last one is. We don't know what the 7th is yet.
Right.
So, whatever the 7th one is.
It's Dumbledore's, right?
Yeah.
Challenge?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, whatever that one is, there's a theory that this will make a little bit more sense once you know what the 7th one is. But only Harry can actually get the stone from the last challenge, and Dumbledore knows it.
Oh.
And so Harry has to get to the end.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily have to do it alone, but he has to get to the end.
Right.
And you want to try to keep everyone else from getting in there, or too many people from trying.
Okay.
So you've intentionally set up Fluffy.
Yeah.
You know Hagrid's going to tell them how to do that.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Devil's Snare. I'm going to come back to that one. Flying Keys. Youngest Quidditch player in a century. Cool. Harry's got that one.
Yep. The Snatch.
Chess. Of course Ron's going to go with him.
For sure.
Done. Troll. They've already done that once.
Yep.
They can do it again. So
if they have to.
Shove a troll down there.
Yep.
They end up not having to. Potions. Made for Hermione.
Yep.
No questions asked.
Yep.
And then 7th is for Harry. He is the only one who can do number 7. Now going back to Devil's Snare, Neville is the one who's good at herbology.
Right.
So there's a miscalculation by Dumbledore that Neville would go with them to get by that one. But Hermione was able to do it because Hermione's also very smart.
Yep.
But it wasn't as easy. But that was a miscalculation by Dumbledore that Neville would go with them and they wouldn't stop him.
Right. Because they thought, or he would have thought that they would have their 4th person.
Neville would have known how to get by Devil's Snare. Super easy. Just like that.
Right.
So that is the mostly unproven theory of Dumbledore intentionally set up, encouraged all the professors to set these up.
Right. Specific ways.
Without telling them, Harry has to be able to get by these.
Right.
He doesn't want to tell them that.
Right.
But is encouraged all of the teachers to set these up, these specific curses, so that Harry and his friends can get through, but nobody else can.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Though, going back to Devil's Snare, the the fact that Hermione is like, but I don't have any wood. I was like, that is so her muggle, like, talking right there.
Like Ron, are you a witch or not?
Right.
That's fantastic.
And then she's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, that part's just amazing because it would be totally something I would have said. And like, but there's no wood.
In a moment of panic, like, ah.
Right. But then
it's like now being somewhere and be like, there's no flashlights. Like, you have your phone. Like, oh yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Like, the power's out. What do I do?
Or the fact that I can never find my phone. So I'm like, hey Siri, where are you? Like, please talk to me. Because I don't know where you are.
I don't know where anything is.
Exactly. But I thought that was pretty funny. But it makes sense that Harry has to get through all of the enchantments, all of the things. So therefore, like, they have to be easy enough for him and his friends to figure it out. However, it's got to be hard enough to keep everybody else out.
To keep, the twins from trying.
Right.
Which, in fairness, Fluffy will probably succeed at that.
Why hadn't they found that room? Like, the twins are everywhere. They know everything. They've been into so much mischief.
I think they've looked in the room and went, no thanks, because they're not as close to Hagrid.
True.
They're not going to put that together and be like, oh, Hagrid let something into the castle. Got it.
Right, yep, for sure.
Like, they're going to look and be like, oh, hard pass. See ya.
Right.
And probably not look for a trapdoor either.
True. But, okay, so now we've got the mystery of who is in the cloak, who can try and get past Dumbledore's, like, enchantments. And it's got to be something that obviously Harry can get past because he needs to be able to get
whoever's
the stone.
there because they're still there.
So he's like so if you ever saw the old school Sword in the Stone, like Harry is the guy that can pull out the stone or the sword out of the stone. And does he get to keep the stone and like turn things to gold? Because that would be fun. Like, here, Ron, I'm going to turn you to gold. I'm just kidding.
What's that?
Like a Midas touch.
Yeah. I was just saying, what's that one where the chicken lays golden eggs? One that nursery tale?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember. I'll look that one up later.
Yeah. I don't remember.
My dad's trying to mouth it to me and I can't figure it out.
Something about laying hens, probably.
Yeah, it's about a chicken that lays golden eggs. I can't remember what it is.
It sounds...
Oh, it's a goose that lays golden eggs.
Oh, I was going to say Willy Wonka has the golden egged.
Oh, yeah.
Like...
No, this is a different...
Like an actual nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
I mean, nursery rhymes were meant to, like, keep kids safe.
Alive.
A long time ago. Yeah.
Yes.
And say, yeah. Yeah.
Enter Baby Shark.
Dude, my daughter loves to do ring around the ring around the Rosie. Yeah.
That's a depressing one.
I know. And I'm just like, if only you knew what that one was about.
I remember I had a high school history teacher tell me, and I was like, why are we still singing this to children?
Yep.
This is wrong.
Well, I mean, we talked about the old school Christian Brother books, like the Grimm's Brother books. There we go. And so, I mean, they're kind of the same thing.
They're creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Water the other day told me a story about a wolf that was going to eat Red Riding Hood, but instead takes the grandma on a walk. And the grandma and the wolf become really good friends, and they go down, and the wolf doesn't eat Red Riding Hood because the grandma tells him not to or something. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not how the story goes, but okay, cool.
We'll run with it.
We'll keep that one.
It's happier, I guess.
I know, right?
Question mark.
Right.
I do enjoy Hermione's little pep talk before Harry goes on of, like spells and knowledge is one thing, but there's other things like bravery and friendship, and it's a nice little speech. And I remember it was also like as I'm looking at my dad, that when I had friends that weren't allowed to read the books. And so that's when my dad was like, okay, let me just make sure there's nothing in here, and read it and was like, no, this is about friendship and bravery and doing what's right and sticking together and like that. And I was like, no, that's the moral of the story, not magic. It's just a vessel for a good friendship story. Yeah. And so I love Hermione's little pep talk. Is like, she's come full circle.
She's almost come full circle.
Oh, no.
I'm still not a big fan of her yet. But, I mean, she hasn't quite gotten fully into the, like, not being super selfish and bossy and all of that stuff. So she's still got a little bit of ways to go for me. But, I mean, she's getting better.
It's a good start.
And she's actually learning what being a friend is rather than
selflessness.
Yep.
Like, I will go back and take care of Ron. You have to be the one who finished this. Like, even she sees that. Yep. Like, even I'm the, quote unquote better witch. Like,
and I totally thought, like, when she was about to figure out when she figured out which potion was which and everything, and she goes to run towards him, I thought for sure she was going to pick that one up and drink it. Oh. Because that's what it kind of makes it sound like that's exactly what she's about to do. And then it was an actual hug and like,
here you go,
pep talk and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I thought for sure she was going to drink it and be the one that goes, like, wouldn't that have been a weird twist?
That would have been a really weird. Congratulations. The book is now Hermione Granger and.
Well, I mean, if you had read the beginning of the book, that's exactly what it would have been, because
Hermione Granger and the Sorcerer's Stone. Yeah.
Right. She was very, very selfish at that point. But I think she's gotten to a point where she's definitely becoming a better friend. She's learning how to be a friend. She's also learning how to...
and they're all learning how to be friends.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Harry never had one, so... And yet he still trusts people right away. I don't get it, but okay, cool.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Predictions.
Who is under
in the cloak? I'm going to stress you out right before bed.
I... wonder if it's Dumbledore, just to see if Harry could figure it all out and get in there. It's obviously not Voldemort or Snape, so we know that. It's obviously not Fluffy, because I mean, there's only one hood for the cloak.
It's your magic cow comeback.
I mean, come on, let's do this. Definitely not Norbert. So my magic cow is not there for sure, or dragon. Okay, let's see here. It's got to be somebody that we haven't either met yet, or somebody that we have that could it be Malfoy? I mean, he wants to be
past everything though.
No, he's cocky, but he ain't that smart.
They would have found him in Devil's Snare.
Yeah, right. So it's definitely not, I don't think it's any of the other professors. Like Quirrell would probably poop himself. It couldn't be Filch, because I think he's not smart enough to get past all of it. I mean, he's just
and at this point, non-magical.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
Mrs. Norris went without him.
I mean, come on, wouldn't that be fun? I honestly have no clue. It's got to be some sort of adult. I mean, could it be the owner of the stone is trying
Flamel?
To get his stone back and he turned evil? I don't know. Who is under the cloak?
Also,
are you going to give me any hints?
What is the last challenge?
Right.
What is the last thing? No ideas?
Okay, so we learn that Dumbledore is all about because the mirror, he is don't look into the mirror, because for what it is that
you desire,
because it may or may not actually be true. But he's obviously trying to help Harry with certain things. So what could be the challenge? The challenge has to be something. I mean, could he be staring into the mirror and have to like make the mirror like break up so that it can't
punch it?
Right.
No magic needed. Safety glass.
I mean, it would be hard for Harry to break the mirror because of the fact that he can see his family that way. So that could be like a challenge for Harry.
To sacrifice seeing your family.
Right.
That would be crappy.
I know, right? That would be. But I think it really depends on who it is. Fair. To know what the challenge is going to be. Because he has to know somebody is out to get the stone, obviously. We already know that this person tried to get into Gringotts and did get into Gringotts, got into the vault. So we know that somebody is out for it. So whatever the challenges have to be somebody that's linked to Harry in some sort of way.
It's Mr. Dursley.
Could you imagine?
No.
I mean,
talking about somebody who would have looked at Fluffy and pooped themselves.
Right, exactly.
Nope. I'll take the pigtail. Thanks, bye.
Yep. Dudley would have been like, I'll keep the pigtail next time you give me one. Thanks.
I'm good.
But I think it's got to be somebody that's connected to Harry, somebody that was a part of everything that happened to James and Lily at that point. It's got to be somebody that's connected in some way. So it can't be Dumbledore at that point. It just can't be. He's away.
Also supposedly not there.
And I don't think it's any of the professors because we've
crossed a lot of them off.
Right.
McGonagall waiting under there. I told you to go back outside.
And she totally doesn't believe them, which I don't understand because
who believes kids?
But it's Harry Potter.
Who believes kids?
Well, nobody should believe Malfoy, so whatever. I have no idea. I am so stumped on this. So far, I've been pretty correct on who's knocking at the door on the island and who's, doing all these, like who's the boy in the robe shop. Yeah. Like I've been pretty dead set on who it is. But this one is just like, I have no clue. It can't, maybe his dad is actually still alive.
Oh, dang.
Ooh, wouldn't that be a cool thing?
Well, he doesn't need the mirror anymore.
Because you'd only see dead people.
No. You see who you most desire.
Oh, true. But you did also tell me last episode that we do know more or we learn more about James and Lily's death. So that can't be it. So could it be James's friend that gave him the cloak? Like, ooh. Maybe it's whoever gave the cloak to Harry that...
This last chapter will be fun.
That's how he got in there. Like,
this last chapter will be fun.
I have no clue. I am so stumped at this point. I'm not sure. It's got to be somebody we've either met or we haven't met. And obviously that's a 50-50 chance. But everybody
it has to be one of those two.
Everybody that we've met so far, don't seem evilly enough to for the stone. But you obviously know that the person in the forest is Voldemort, so... I don't know. Nothing. I have nothing.
So next week. Next week, we get to cover chapter 17.
The last chapter.
Which is called The Man with Two Faces.
Oh.
Her voice just got really serious.
Two faces. Like a twin? Like a... Oh. It's magical. So his face has to be able to just change, not having an actual second face on his back or something. Like those types of twins that...
Like the conjoined twins?
Yeah. Could you imagine one big head with two faces on both sides? It could be, but it is magical. So I'm thinking his it's got to be Jackal and Mr. Hyde. That's who's in the cloak.
All right. Just because I think this will be a really fun without saying it.
You're so mean.
No, I'm going to make you want to read tonight.
It's... Okay, it looks like a boy.
No.
Oh. It was... Seriously?
And now we'll talk next week about the rest of that chapter.
How?
No, we're going to talk next time. Turn it off.
Thanks for joining us for this episode. If you had fun, please follow, download, and review this podcast on your preferred listening platform.
If you're ready for the next chapter, join the spoiler-free conversation on our Facebook group. Search You Haven't Read What? The podcast.
Or on Instagram and YouTube for exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content. Have a great week.
And we'll catch you on the next page.